I'm Lydia Howe, aka Edel Ewa from Novelty, and today we get to talk about some of my favorite middle grade books. The first one is Treasures of the Snow, which is one of the first chapter books I ever read, and I loved it so much that I wanted to be just like the main character, and I would braid my hair into braids and dance through the fields acting like I was in the Swiss Alps. And a really cool thing about this book is a couple of summers ago I got to go to the Swiss Alps, and I actually took the book with me and read it in the fields under the Swiss Alps, or in the shadow, and I even picked some flowers from that field, so that's a really cool memory. My next book is actually part of a series. This is the middle book in the series, and the first one was The Bridge, and this is The Crown and the Jewel, and then the third one is The Two Collars. And I just loved this series so much, and I've read it over and over and over again, and it's a huge part of my childhood and definitely one of my favorite authors. By the way, the author's name is Jerry Massey, and she also wrote this series, which, or I guess this is the first one. So this series, there's like maybe 3 or 4 books in between these two, and I've read them over and over and over again, and I just think they're so much fun. And this one right here, Deerwood Incorporated, is probably the funniest book I've ever read in my life, and I laughed at it over again and over again. I'll like reread sections time and time again just to laugh, and it's so much fun. Another one of my favorite authors is Katherine Farnes, and I actually was introduced to her, to her writing at a little bit of an older age when I was in my mid-teens, and I read these books so often because they were just so inspiring and really helped me get through a hard time in my life, because it helped me remember that, you know, God has my back and God is there for me and God's important, and, you know, even when times are hard, I can still trust in God, and so that was really cool. So this one is Way of Escape. And then this series is, this is the first book in the series, and it's Over the Divide, and this one made me want to go and explore and go camping and go hiking in Colorado so much, and Montana. Colorado and Montana, I'm just like, yes, please take me there. And I've been to Colorado, and I'm about to go to Montana, so yay! Scout is a book my sister read to me when I was really little, and I loved the story, and I would like sit on the edge of my seat and be like, what happens next? What happens next? And the dog's name is Scout, and it's like this big like police dog, and it's all cool and everything like that. So I was always like, I will name my first dog Scout. I will name my first dog Scout. So I got a dog, and it was a mutt, and they're like, oh, it's, you know, a medium-sized dog. So I named it Scout. It turned out it was like a really small dog. The biggest it ever got was like 18 pounds. So it probably was not quite nice to this dog to name a little 18-pound yappy dog after it, but still, it was fun. Another book by the same author is In My Uncle's House, and this one I just loved. I would like read it and read it and read it, and it was so much fun. And the last book on my list is Jenny Wren, and this book is one that was so sweet. It always made me cry and then be so happy at the end of it because it has a really happy ending. So those are some of my favorite books.